Hey there, just a quick reminder we have a mentorship program if you're looking for personalized coaching and mentorship to help guide you to the next level of your interior design business, whatever that might look like for you, whether it's processes and procedures or what services to offer to how to incorporate wellness, intention, or spirituality into your projects. Come join us over at designcoven.com/join. Or if you're just in search to connect with other like-minded interior designers, you can join our free community, also located at designcoven.com/join. On today's episode, we have founder Tammy Fodrey, the founder of Malas in Bloom. And I just adore her malas. For me, setting intention is the first thing that we do anytime we design. And using her malas is a great way to connect with the intentions that we set forward. It's a way to use crystals in another format. So I welcome all of you to this new practice. If you aren't familiar with working with malas or even know what a mala is, Tammy does a beautiful job of sharing all of that with us. And just to give you a little bit of background on Tammy, she founded Malas in Bloom in 2015. It is a manifestation of Tammy Fodrey's vision to create a mala jewelry business that nourishes the roots of ancient traditions while inspiring spiritually oriented people who are guided by their intuition, self-healing powers, and awakening of the heart and spirit. All Malas in Bloom pieces are designed by Tammy, drawing on her background in design and merchandising, as well as her love for cultural antiquities, art, yoga, spirituality, and nature. More than just jewelry, each piece is a blend of beauty and integrity created to foster happiness, health, and prosperity while helping you move through the world with intention and personal authenticity. And I just feel like this is just, again, a beautiful way of connecting back to our intentions moving forward. I hope you enjoy the episode. Feel free to send me a message, give me some comments, let me know what you thought, and enjoy. You're listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. This is a podcast that guides you as a new or inspiring independent interior designer navigating your entrepreneurial path. Here, with my over 20 years experience, I will share my holistic approach to design with intention and ancient practices, including feng shui, all incorporating mind, body, and spirit into my design projects. You will also learn from seasoned interior designers as they give strategies and insight of how they built their businesses and continue to work in the field. Together, we will discover supportive trade partners, new ideas, creatives, and inspiring artists from around the world. I am your host, Rachel Lorraine Crawford. Hello. We have Tammy of Malas in Bloom today, and I'm so freaking excited. I can't wait to share all the things that she's doing. And yeah, there's just so much. I can't wait. So what we're going to do before we get in, because I'm very airy and all over the place, I'm going to ground. So I'm going to open our space with our bell just to connect us with the moment. Connect us with our breath and our bodies. And of course, I'm going to light our beautiful Mithras beeswax candle.
I listened to your podcast with him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so rad.
I can't wait to get a candle now.
He's so rad. Yeah. I mean, the candles they're magic, like serious magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's nothing else like it. So yeah, so I've lit our candle, connecting us with that beautiful fire spirit of Mithras. So, all right, let's pull a card. So I, of course, have just been obsessing with the Radiant Crystal cards from Bouchette Design, and I thought it was obviously very perfect for us today to play with crystals.
Definitely.
Since we've got some crystal malas happening. So let's just see what crystal wants to be seen today. What do we have? Oh, turquoise. Turquoise. Purification, strength, and wisdom. Yeah, so she's got throat chakra for sure, vibration number 1. Affirmation, I am at ease and nurtured. Turquoise is a stone of purification and helps dispel negative energy and pollutants when worn. It brings inner calm and helps ease panic and anxiety. It's a stone of friendship and love and aligns our chakras with a soothing energy. Absolutely. And I also love turquoise for, I always think of it as a protective stone. So whenever I'm traveling,
It is very protective.
yeah, I'll bring turquoise with me
Mhm.
for sure.
Those
Ugh,
cards are so beautiful.
right? They're so pretty. I know
I
she's
love that
fantastic.
deck.
So good. So what are you nourishing yourself over there?
I
What do you
am
got?
drinking Tulsi Rose tea. Tulsi
Oh,
Rose. Yeah, for
beautiful.
the heart
I love it.
chakra. I love it
Mm.
so much. I definitely am a coffee drinker in the morning, but it's a little
Uh-huh.
too late. I already had my coffee, so
Yeah,
onward to tea.
exactly.
I typically drink tea at night. I love the tea ritual at night.
Mm,
It's one of my favorite things about the day. Coffee in the morning, the tea at night.
yeah.
But
Ah,
I'll take it
so
all day if I can.
beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Just connecting with those plants and the herbs is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
Fun Earth Co. with their morning routine. So it's
Okay.
3 mushrooms. Yeah. And I've just started doing this
Ooh,
lately, and I've got it with a decaf because I've already had my 1 caffeine
your
coffee drink
coffee.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what
Which
I've got.
mushroom? Which 3 mushrooms?
So she's got I don't know how to pronounce these. Chaga, lion's mane,
Okay.
and cordyceps. I know I'm mispronouncing all of
Okay.
that, but we'll have
Yeah,
to
the
put that in the show
lion's mane
notes.
is supposed to be incredible for like cancer fighting agents,
Mm,
and the lion's mane is like huge. We should be
yeah,
having that every day.
I have not been into the mushroom game, and I'm just now like getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie, the one of the
Mm-hmm.
co-founders of this company, came on and was just sharing all of her goodness with us. So she gifted me with that. So I'm
Oh,
just been like,
nice.
yeah,
I'll have to check
connecting
that
with
out.
it. Yeah, for sure. So what's home for you?
Oh man, home has been it's been a long journey home the last couple of years actually. And we finally made it home. My husband and I, we moved, we were in like a long-term rental situation and moved uh, right before the pandemic happened.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we rented this home. Yeah, we rented this home that was just like, it was so perfect for us and for our family. And like 2 months after we moved in, the lockdowns happened
Yeah.
and the economy changed, like everything just went crazy, right? And so they came to us. We weren't even like a year into our lease, and they came to us and said that they were going to sell the property, and which rightly so. I mean, if you're in California, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here in
You're
Encinitas.
in California, San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like everything just is so like skyrocketed. So
Yeah.
they were like, we're ready to cash out, like, you know, um and we, for the first time, thought, it's probably time for us to settle down and make roots and buy a house. And we looked, and just the market was so competitive and
Yeah.
it was crazy. So we found an area that where they were like building a new community, and it was kind of relocating for us because we've always been coastal. We've always been like Oceanside, Carlsbad area.
Yeah.
And we went inland in order to buy our dream home. And so we moved out of the rental and in with my parents for 6 months while our
Oh my
home was being
gosh.
built. Yes. So we have a big family, everybody living in one house, which my parents, like, I'm so grateful to them because without
Oh,
them, we wouldn't have been able to do it. We were
yeah.
able to just, save all the money that we needed. And here I am, I'm in my brand new home. I'm like, how did we
Yee.
manifest this? And it was one of those times in life for sure where when they came to us and said, we want to sell the house, we were like mortified. We
Yeah.
were so sad. We were like, this is
Ugh.
our, we love it here. Like there was this beautiful garden and just like birds everywhere. And we just,
Mm.
we spent a lot of time outdoors. We love the outdoors. Um, so it was hard to leave.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, there is, a light at the end of this tunnel. And here we are, man. We moved in December. It was like the week of Christmas, and we've
Oh
been
my
here for a
gosh.
few, 6 months
Yeah.
now. And it's crazy because home has always been like, very well. I mean, when you don't own a home, it is kind of like you just can up and go whenever you want,
Right.
and there's
Right.
freedom in that, right? So
For
now
sure.
it's like, oh, like this is like we're gonna, settle in some roots here,
Mm.
and we're on this property that's just dirt. Like we have just a dirt lot. It's like a house on dirt. So we have to start from the
Yeah.
roots, and we have to build, and we have to grow and
Oh my
nurture,
goodness.
which is something that I'm used to doing. And I've done that in a lot of areas in my life, but never with a new home. So it's really like a brand new
Mm.
chapter for us. It's really
Oh my goodness.
exciting. Yeah.
That's so rad. So what
Yeah.
part are you still in San Diego or are
Yes.
you?
We're in Valley Center.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so pretty out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gorgeous out
yeah. It's
here. It's
so
really,
pretty.
really warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. It's different, it's really quiet and more rural, and
Yeah.
but we're happy about that. Like
It's
we're ready
amazing.
to move into that part of our
Yeah.
lives and
So
be
rad.
in the serene. So yeah, we have a lot of like a vision and a lot of plans for what we want to do here, but right now we're just like trying to get pictures on the walls,
Right?
like
I know.
there's so much to do with a new house, and we're just slowly kind of getting there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's so exciting.
and
I
then
love
it's
it.
home.
Love it. Love it.
Yes, fresh start.
Yeah. So I know you had mentioned before we got on about like just having this connection in the community here in Southern California and having different friends that are connected and our names being brought up and little synchronicities and all of
Mm-hmm.
those things. How did you first get in touch with or where does Malas and Bloom come from? Like what's the origin story of that? How did you get connected into the spiritual community and how did this all develop?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in kind of a roundabout way, and I went to out of high school, I went to a design and merchandising college. So
Oh my
it
gosh.
was like I've always especially loved jewelry and meaningful jewelry, but also just the whole industry. But I never really used that degree because I got married and had kids and became a mom and pursued just family was it. So
Yeah.
um so I'd love to see that, like, I just used that so much, but it's actually not how
Did
I got
wow.
into this at all. It was actually through running. So I used to be a marathon runner. I
Oh my
trained
goodness.
for like the Nike women's marathon up in San Francisco, and we had a family friend who was a chiropractor, and I just was going with her injury after injury, because it was so hard on my body,
Yeah.
the sheer amount of miles and hours I was running and training. So, she kept telling me like, when are you going to stop doing this? Because like I just was like
Oh.
batching my body, and she's like, if you're going to do this, you need to start going to yoga.
Mm.
And so I did. I started taking yoga classes, not at like a nice yoga
Yeah.
studio or
Yeah.
anything. I just went to my local YMCA, and there was this kooky old guy who was the teacher. He was the coolest guy ever.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
yoga just from the second that I got on my mat, I was like, I just like just plugged in because I've
Wow.
always been spiritually oriented. Like, I'm a Pisces, you know, I've
Oh,
got like
yeah.
my Cancer rising, like, you know, I'm flowy, watery. Like, it's
Ugh,
kind of always been my, you know, I've been studying astrology since I was like 14 years
right.
old. So it was like boom, like really
Wow.
instantly I connected with the yoga and with the mind, body, and spirit connection. So I became so passionate about doing yoga that I was like, oh, I'm going to take the you know, the get certified to teach yoga because I
Yeah.
want to share this with other people. Um, and I did. I I started teaching like right away, just
Oh
because
my goodness.
I felt so called to share the yoga and the philosophies
Right.
with others, and um, I was teaching in a studio. It was in Carlsbad. It's not there anymore, but it's called Mantra
Okay.
Yoga. And the founder of the studio, her name is Melissa Smith. She's one of my teachers, and I love her to death. She gifted me my first mala,
Mm,
and from the moment that I held that mala, I was like, "This is magic! Like, this is magic in my hands."
wow.
And it was black onyx, and black onyx just spoke to me so much at the time because, you know, the crystals, they have such a language of their own. And
Absolutely.
like you know, the power really comes from them. They're their own like beings. So I felt it and connected with that instantly too. Um, and I just thought, I'm going to make one of these.
Mm,
And I YouTubed it and I learned how to make it. Um, I loved the practice of making it because it
yeah.
was such a meditation in itself, just making the mala. And I really studied up on like, what is the origin and how is this sacred and how can I honor that? How can I honor the origin of this like
Right.
sacred practice? And so when I made my mala, and I'm actually wearing the very first mala I ever made, it's
Oh,
called the High Priestess, which is from tarot, which you
beautiful.
know.
Yeah.
Um, I really did connect so much with the crystals themselves, the intention behind the crystals, and also that the thread of the mala is the breath, and the beads are the prayer.
Mhm.
So it's this beautiful meditation prayer work that
Yeah.
you do when you build it. And so Malas in Bloom was actually I didn't start just making and selling malas. What I did was I wore this mala to my class, to my yoga
Mhm.
classes that I would
Mhm.
teach. And everyone was just like, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "Oh, I made it."
Yeah.
And I mean, the next question is, you know, will you teach me? I want to make one. So
Yeah.
I started doing workshops, and luckily um the studio owner let me hold a workshop there. I think I held a couple of workshops there where my students would come and learn the sacred practice of
Beautiful.
malas and meditation, and how to use it, how to use the
Mhm.
mala in
Mhm.
meditation. So that is how Malas in Bloom started. And that's why it's called Malas in Bloom. It was like, this workshop is where you get to bloom and create
Mm,
through your own heart's intention. It's not only this beautiful, physical, tangible piece, but it's also just chock full of like the highest vibrational crystals that I could possibly find.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, and it kind of just went from there. That was in 2015.
Okay.
A lot of people don't want to make a mala because it's not easy to make
Yeah.
a mala. You know,
No,
it
it
takes a
it
couple
takes a lot.
hours. So
Yeah,
people
takes
are,
a long time.
yeah. So a lot of people are just like, I don't want to make a mala. Can you make me a mala? And I was like, well, I should probably, you know, have a website with some
Yeah.
malas that people want to just go on and purchase. And so that was when I started using
Mm,
my, you know, design and
yeah.
merchandising skills to build it as an e-commerce, like a website where people could go and buy
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
which was the next year in 2016. So yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
how
so
we got
awesome.
started.
That's amazing. And can you share with us a little bit of the history of Amala and what it is and how do
Yeah.
you use one? And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely come at it from a very like non-theocratic place because um malas are like ancient, they're tools, right? Used in
yeah.
prayer meditation. They're like over 3,000 years old and they stem from both Hindu and Buddhist practices. I connect more with the Buddhist practices because I'm not rigid in my
Hmm.
practices. I'm
Hmm.
not like the one that's going to tell you like if you're reciting japa mantra, it has to be in Sanskrit, or you have to hold the mala in your left hand. Like there can be very rigid practices around it, and
Right.
that's just not me. That's not how I operate. I feel like the Buddhist practices are very free. They're
Hmm.
also very inclusive of everybody everywhere. And that is like my
That's
mantra,
huge. Yeah.
may all beings everywhere be happy and free, period. Like that's what I want for people.
Mm.
So I come at it from a very open place of, if you want to make a mala, if you want to practice with the mala, like it is open to your interpretation of that.
Yeah.
Um, they're typically made with 108 beads, which I do think is important because I do believe in symbolism,
Yeah.
and the symbolism of the number 108, which is the nadi system, which is like how all of our chakras are connected. And the nadi, it's nadi, and everything intersects at the heart chakra. There's said to be like 108 different channels of where the life force energy moves through. So
Mm.
I do make the malas 108 beads. It's the one thing that I feel is important. I like when they're knotted and not
Yeah.
necessarily strung on elastic, because they're more fluid. And so yeah, there's a couple of things, but they're basically used to help you recite uh, mantra or affirmations, and to
Hmm.
help you keep count during meditation, so that you can focus your mind. A lot of meditation isn't just emptying out the mind completely, but just the ability to focus on
Yeah.
something, right? And so if you're
Absolutely.
able to focus on something for however long, so maybe you japa meditation, which is what the mala meditation is called. If you go around the mala and touch each bead, which is 108 times, and you recite an affirmation or a mantra, you're focusing on that.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to think about anything else, right? And what that does is it quiets the mind for even the shortest amount of time, which in yoga we call it the monkey mind, or the chitta, which is always constantly
Yeah.
just flowing with thoughts. So yeah, that's the history, and that's how I have always interpreted it for
Mm.
myself. And I of course I offer that to my customers. And yeah,
So
you can
beautiful.
also just use a mala for the crystals, because they're made with such high vibrational crystals, that even if it's just that you wear it on your wrist as a reminder
Right.
that, okay, this is how light, and it's going to help keep me calm today. I'm going to use
Hmm.
this because it's going to help keep me calm. Intention is so powerful, because everything,
Yeah.
it is what you say it is. Like, you're the one that gives it a meaning,
Right.
right? So
Ex-
I don't know how you feel about that, but I
I
definitely
love
feel
it.
like it's so powerful. Yeah, that we get to subscribe the meaning that. And a lot of people, like, what it's kind of like what you said about turquoise earlier,
Yeah.
like there's so many different meanings in there, right? Like,
Absolutely.
do I want to use this for strength or wisdom or purification or protection? Like, you get to subscribe the meaning, and it is empowering. It is
Absolutely.
empowering to be able to do that.
Yeah, I love that this is just another way that you can connect with the crystals, that you can wear it, that you can be
Hmm.
intentional about what goes on your body. And in a
Exactly.
way, yeah, exactly. And we all have these connections to all these different stones. And I'm sure if I were to ask anybody, everyone has like a certain crystal that's always called to them. I remember like the first time I ever
Yes.
bought a crystal was at the Oktoberfest in La Mesa. And I was 10 years old and I bought an amethyst for
Oh, no way.
$1. Yeah, I still have it.
Oh. Oh, I love
So
that.
it's like we all
Oh,
have like these things, or even when we were little, we used to go, to the
yes.
river or whatever. We'd find quartz crystals and like or go on
Oh,
hikes and you'd be drawn to
exactly.
these things. So
I have
um
it to tell you a short little story
yeah,
because what you said reminded me at my last house, there was this little boy and he was outside with like one of those foldable like tables, like
yeah.
those tables that fold out. And he was, most kids are like, oh, I'm having a lemonade stand. Well, this kid had just gotten back from Joshua Tree with his dad and had all of these rocks out on a table, but oh no, they were not rocks, they were crystals. So I went over there and I was like, what
Yeah,
are you doing? He's like, he was probably like 8 years old. He's like,
yeah.
do you want to buy one of my magic crystals? And of course I bought
Oh,
like 5 of them because I just thought it was
you're
the
like,
cutest
yes.
thing. I was like, how when you're in Joshua Tree, there's just,
Yeah,
they're really not, they're not like what we would consider crystals because they're not semi-precious. They're
yeah.
rocks on the ground. But this kid was like, these are magic crystals. And I was like, you know what?
You
These
are
are
right.
magic crystals. You are right because you just like you made them
Yeah.
magic crystals. So
Uh
I'll take them. So it was just super cute how
uh
he even got that at such a young age, which was like I'm gonna conjure this up, and this is
yeah.
what it is. These are magic. Here you go. I'm selling them for $5.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love it. It's just such a beautiful thing, and
Yeah.
your malas are absolutely stunning. So
Thank
everyone's
you.
gotta obviously go on your Instagram and your website and check them out because they're just so beautiful. But yeah, I love that
Thank
you can wear them
you.
around your wrist, you can wear them around your neck. I even
Hmm.
will just carry them with me in a beautiful bag, like have it in my handbag or,
Yes,
or have them in your car
exactly.
or
Yes,
mm,
having one in your car is like so important. I have used my car mala, which is my love warrior mala. It's
mm,
made of garnet because, things happen.
yeah,
I've used that so many times where I'm just like, oh, I'm going to need to get my mala out.
uh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
What practices are you doing? Or maybe it doesn't even have to be with the mala, but are there any practices that you're really enjoying right now that are keeping you grounded and keeping you centered and, you know, keeping you in this mindfulness space? I'd love to know what you're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that honestly, my life is really about that. That's my lifestyle. So everything I
Mm,
do is always from an intentional place. I mean, obviously, I do the regular things like my regular rituals, which are meditation. I love a good salt soak, an essential oil bath,
mm,
my tea at night, my coffee in the morning is a ritual. Everything that I do seems to be kind of a ritual, to be honest, because I my main focus is to live mindfully, and also to always live in the moment that I'm in rather than to jump forward or to go live in the past. I do have PTSD from an event that happened in 2010. So I think that living with that and
mhm.
understanding the diagnosis and what that is it really did push me to um, to be present and to be here now because
Yeah,
every part of my brain wants to take me elsewhere. Um,
yeah.
Interesting to connect those two. That was when I started furiously running.
Wow.
Was right after my PTSD because that was how I was handling it.
Mm,
Uh, I was handling it through just go, 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 being really hard on my body,
Yeah.
So this practice and where I am now, all these years later, over a decade later, it's like to look back on that and go, wow, like I'm here now. Like I'm really here. And I try to do everything as mindfully as I can. I really do.
Right. Yeah, and it seems
I
like you've
really do.
slowed down. I
It's
mean,
not always, it's a practice. It's
yeah.
not always, you know, it's not, I'm not always successful, but it's something that I practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's incredible. I just see you like running so fast and then now you're at this space of standstill and being in that moment. It's
hmm
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still run
Yeah.
actually. I run pretty slow. I, you know, I don't, I'm not pushing myself to a specific time
Yeah.
or anything like that. But even running, I run mindfully. I do it in a
Mm,
way that honors my body and my health, and yeah.
so cool. And so are you making all these bolos yourself or do you have a team or how are you creating all these beauties?
I'm making them all myself.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I touch and create every single
Everyone.
one. It's at one point in my business, and it was actually before a lot of the Instagram changes
Yeah.
happened. My business was just, it was so busy that I did have someone help me make them.
Hmm.
So I'd give her the design and she would sit
Yeah.
and make them. But that really only lasted for about a year. And then all the Instagram changes happened, and my business slowed down so much that I really didn't need the help. And it
Yeah.
honestly, like if I'm being totally
Yeah.
honest, like I prefer where I'm at right now, because everything is it's like I get to bless it. I mean, I get to
Yeah.
actually put my hands on it, bless it, and that is what people feel, like the
Absolutely.
palpable energy of that when they receive it. Like people will open it,
Uh,
their package, and they'll just send me like a message right away and be like, "Oh my god, I can feel the energy like just out of
oh,
the box." Oh,
you're
I'm
freaking
like,
out.
"Oh, good. It worked. My magic still works." Ding. you know.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that must feel so
So,
good.
yeah, so it is nice to be able to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I do every part of the business on my own, even the
Oh
packaging
my
and
gosh.
shipping and taking it to the post office.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
so, are there boutiques or places that people can go and pick one up, or do we have to purchase it from the website?
Yeah, you'll have
Yeah.
to purchase it from the website.
Okay.
I did sell a little bit of um it was a pretty small collection to a place last year. I'm not sure if they have any left, but it was all the
Okay.
way on the East
Okay.
Coast, and it was like in a boutique there. So,
Yeah.
but I don't do a lot of wholesale. I don't. I just direct everybody to my website,
Yeah. Smart.
malasandbloom.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm still holding the workshops too here and
Okay.
there. I'm trying to get my because we have a pretty good size property where I can definitely hold like little day retreats at my
Beautiful.
home. So we're trying to build up the backyard with some privacy hedges and things like
Yeah.
that, so that I can have day retreats and just teach yoga, do the singing bowls, which I love playing the crystal singing bowls
Mhm.
too. I have a
Mhm.
collection of those, and then letting people learn the art of mala making too, and teaching them that. So hopefully by next year I'll have that ready.
Amazing. And so can
I'm
people book you
excited.
for like a mala making party or an event?
Yes. So that's typically how I do it. I
Okay.
have done a couple at my home, but people will typically hire me to come to them, and I bring it there, and they'll gather the group. So if you have
Yeah.
5 or more people who want to learn to make a mala and do the whole workshop, which is
Yeah.
about 4 hours.
Okay.
I'll come to you and do it. Yeah.
It's amazing. And you bring all the
I want to
materials,
come
all the
to one of your
supplies.
spaces.
Yeah.
You working these I'm like, I see pictures. I'm like, I want to do a mala workshop there.
Yes, I've
So
got a couple
gorgeous.
places that we can totally do a Mala workshop, and that would be absolutely
Good.
gorgeous. And even on my property, like that's one of the things too that I was just thinking about. It's like, how cool would it be to have the design come over and make malas? Because I have a beautiful space that we can totally
We
just
have to do that. We have to
okay.
offer that. Maybe
Yeah,
this is where we put that out into the universe right here
absolutely.
and
Yeah,
now.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do
You guys come to the Mala
it.
workshop. It's
Yes.
really such a great experience. It's so magical and it's so much fun and just, connecting with the other people there and
Mhm.
everybody it just always ends up being this really truly um memorable experience. So,
Okay, so we're gonna do that. We'll
um
totally do that. We'll do that here. But then we'll also
yeah.
figure out another event too, because we've always got singing bowls and new moon stuff. So
Yeah, yes, I love that too. Yeah. And I bring over I think I have like over 20 different stones. So
okay.
you have your pick from like all of my stones too are like there's like the highest grade stone is grade
Mm,
AAA. And I try to just be as ethical as
yeah,
possible when purchasing them too. So I think that that's really important. I mean, I
absolutely.
have bought beads before where I can definitely feel the difference between like, where are these coming from type of
Yeah,
situation. If you're an
yeah,
energy worker and you can feel energy, you can definitely be, like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So I, I, I I put a lot of value in that. So everything that I bring and offer is like the
yeah.
highest quality and vibration that I can find. And yeah, so people, I mean, even just like seeing all the beads are like, whoa, what am I gonna do with all like how do I
Yes,
decide? What do I need? But it's based on intention, right? It's not just like,
absolutely.
oh, I want this color. I mean, obviously aesthetically you want it to be
Yeah,
beautiful, but how can they not be? Like, I've
they're
never
all
seen
beautiful.
a combination of beads that is not beautiful together,
Yeah.
It always turns out so beautiful. So,
Oh, well, I
yeah.
can't wait. Okay, so we're totally gonna book something. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be fantastic.
Yes,
And
that'll
so
be
how
fun.
yeah, so can you share with us? I know you just shared the website, melissabloom.com, and then the Instagram.
It is Models in Bloom.
Okay, so simple.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So we will be
Mhm.
sharing all of that. And what
Mm.
is there a certain mala that you think people or maybe it's just different for everybody, like but do you have one that you suggest that people start with, or is it kind of just like whatever you're being called to?
Yeah, it's definitely whatever you're being called to, and that can change over time. So
Mhm.
I say that most of my business is repeat. It's from
Okay.
people who have had a mala and are like, okay, like I'm ready for uh, something new, a new intention. Um, it it really just depends on what you need
Yeah.
in your life, what you want to call in is how I would say it. What are you calling in?
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
support? Um, all all of the crystals, they speak for themselves. So I have I go really deeply into that on my website just because I do
Okay.
want people to choose from that place of intention.
Right.
So yeah. And then I name them so that you can get an idea of like peace and protection.
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't need that?
Right?
Like protection from psychic attack and like just like everybody needs that mala. Sure, we can
Mhm.
all agree
Mhm.
everybody needs that mala. So yeah, there's ones like that, but then there's other like really specific, like there's really good crystals for fertility, for
Mhm.
example. So if you're wanting to get pregnant or if you are pregnant, like there's certain crystals to help you with childbirth and things like that. So it does
Yeah.
definitely get more specific. But I also wanted to say that um, a lot of what I do is custom. It's like the
Okay.
bespoke because because people have such different circumstances and unique circumstances in their lives, I offer custom. So if you go to my website, and there's a drop down, it just says custom malas.
Okay.
There's like a whole form that you can fill out that says, this is what I'm looking for. And then there's a little section at the bottom where a lot of people will just tell me straight up, like, this is what's going on in my life. I'm getting out of an abusive relationship, or I'm, moving across country and starting a new career, or like there's so many things. And so
Wow.
I I feel like I am so honored, truly, that people come to me uh, and share what is happening so that I can, you know, just guide them to the
Yeah.
right crystals, essentially. So it's like I'm a crystal whisperer in a way,
You
just
are.
because, yeah, because I'm like, instantly I'm like, oh, shoot, you need this crystal like right away. And I typically work with like in a custom mala, I'll only
Right.
put like 3 or 4 tops. Um, like gemstones in there
Mhm.
because I do want it to be specific. I feel like if you
Yes.
just put like it's like it's too much. Like
Yes,
let's
absolutely.
make 2 malas then because you obviously need a lot, but we need to we need to focus in on what exactly this piece is going to do for you. So yeah, a lot, I would say so much of the work that I do is custom, and people
Okay.
fill out the form and come and just say, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is how I need to be supported. And I make so many friends that way too.
Oh my
I
goodness,
just
I'm
made so
sure.
many friends because like just being able to enter into that dynamic with someone is really, really special.
Mhm.
Really special.
That's so beautiful, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can you tell us, how does one take care of their mala? Like, do they need to store it in a certain way? Should we keep it somewhere? Like, what do you suggest as far as the care of the mala?
Thank you for asking that because, because they are handmade pieces and they're also a very sacred item, they need to be handled with like the utmost care. And it's not that they can't be worn, but I always tell people, like, don't wear them when you're working out, don't wear them to work. Don't wear them in the pool or the ocean. It'll break down the thread really quickly. So if you want your mullet to have a longer life,
Yes.
um, don't use it that way. Like, just be very careful with it. But yeah, caring for it in the way of the beads are very porous. And so you'll want to use just like a cloth on them. And actually, the bags that I sell them in are like this kind of like
Okay.
felt. They're great for polishing the mala. But yeah, you don't want to pull or stretch it.
Okay.
Again, you don't want to get it wet or get it in water, and you also want to cleanse it. So, do you cleanse your crystals?
Yeah, I'll put them out under the
Yeah. Do you do it
moon,
on the full
either new
moon?
moon or full moon, or, a lot of times what I'll do is just hold the crystals in my hand and I'll cleanse it that way, just with intention. We don't have to do a ton of stuff, or sometimes I'll burn
Yes.
rosemary and put it through
Yes.
the rosemary
Yes.
smoke, or, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I love Palo Santo too for that. I always do that with the molas before I send them out. But yeah, I think that that's really powerful too, just because they
Yeah.
do absorb uh, energies. And so cleansing them periodically is a good way to care for them as well. And also, I will say that because the beads the beads are made from semi-precious and gemstones, so they will last forever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the beads themselves don't break typically. Softer beads like
Yeah, yeah, for
selenite,
sure.
howlite, you have to be super careful with them because they can break, but most of them don't break. So, another service that I offer is the rethreading,
Got
because
it.
the thread will break, but the beads are perfectly intact. So, I always tell everyone, like, if your mala breaks,
Yeah.
there's companies out there that will other mala companies out there that will tell you that you can't rethread your mala. That once it breaks, its life is over. I do not
Mm,
believe that. I believe in repurposing these beautiful gems because
absolutely.
repurposing is really important for our planet. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, if your
Yeah.
beads are still perfectly beautiful, but maybe the metal needs to be switched out or the thread just needs to be rethreaded, please send it to me so that I can repurpose it for
Mm,
you. It feels brand new.
yeah.
You can even just add a couple more beads and it'll feel like a totally different mala, or even just setting a new intention for it. So
I love
that's
that
another good
idea
way to care
of,
for your mala. Yeah.
having an original
Yeah.
intention, working through it, and then knowing that it breaks. And it's almost like a transformation, right? So then it's like, okay, let's take
Hmm.
these beads and maybe we switch it
Yes,
up and we transform it into something else and we
exactly.
set a new intention and it's just evolved with you. How rad is that?
It's it's the best. It's honestly the best. That's why people they're like, "Oh, do you do that? Like, can you rethread my mala?" I'm like, "Yes, of course. That's so much fun to do." And of course I charge for it
Yeah.
because I don't have to cut every single knot. And I cleanse the beads. I
Yeah.
rethread. I do this whole ceremony around it. It feels brand new. So I think what do I charge? Like $50 or $60 to do it, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, and I've done that even with my own malas too, where I just am like, you know what, it needs a new thread, so sit down and
So
it feels
good.
feels just brand new afterwards. And yeah, it again, for the planet, like, we only have so many resources, so
Hmm.
let's
Mm,
reuse when
beautiful.
we can.
Okay, so I'm just thinking about obsessing over all of your photos and all the molas that you're making. Okay, cool. So
Thank
we got that down. We're
you.
gonna do a mala workshop definitely for the design Kevin, and then we're gonna work on
Yes.
some other things, and we'll be sharing it with everybody. So don't worry, you guys are all invited. And of course, you can check out
Yay.
Tammy's work on her website, molasandbloom.com, and on Instagram, and you ship all over the states and or worldwide. Are you
I do ship worldwide. I
amazing?
do. It's gotten a little bit tougher lately,
Yeah,
with customs being more difficult. So it does take
a little bit
longer,
longer.
but they always arrive. The
Yay!
malas arrive. I've never had a lost mala ever. I'm like,
Yes,
these babies have a mind of their own when they travel because they know that they have a place to be and they get there.
exactly.
I mean, so I've been very lucky to have to be able to do that, because I know a lot of people are having trouble with packages
Yeah,
and other makers and creators and
yeah.
stuff. So yeah, but I do ship worldwide, Australia, Canada, everywhere.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Tammy, so much for coming on with me and sharing your
Yeah.
gifts. And yeah, I just can't wait.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
So fun to talk with you.
You've been listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business podcast. If it's one that you have been enjoying, please share with anyone else that you think can benefit from this knowledge and leave us a 5-star review that helps us get seen and found by other new and aspiring interior designers. And if you're looking for mentorship, I invite you to join our club here at the Design Coven. It's a bridge between school and real life interior design. We get in much deeper there. We have virtual and in person events. So everyone is welcome. You don't need to have a design degree to be part of it, just an interest in holistic interior design. I also want to thank our editor, Marcy Ferry, and lastly, Kinseth Thibodeau, who is our music composer. Until next time, be well, and we will see each other soon.